Pregame.com.
Hey guys, welcome back to Pregame.tv. It's Saturday baseball action. St. Louis at Cincinnati. VR, these are two teams that probably a lot of people thought were going to be battling for first place in this division.
For sure.
And I still believe that they probably are going to be battling for it.
I think so.
And the Reds, surprisingly, have been in first place most of the year. They got overtaken by the Pirates in the last week. And mainly because Cincinnati went on a West Coast road trip. We see this happen so many times. These East Coast teams go west and things don't work out well. They had lost 4 out of 5 before winning the final 3 games of the road trip. But those 3 games they won were against San Diego. So what do we take from the Cincinnati Reds from the first half of the season?
I'm going to tell you this. I think they're overperforming. Pythagorean over-under says they are. You know, I mean, they're 4.5 games. They've won more than they should have won. But they do have a plus half run differential. So, I mean, this is a team that should be above 500 based on that data alone. But I'm not convinced in their hitting. It's been their pitching. And what scares me about a team that's done this with their pitching is these guys haven't proven to me they could do it for a whole season. Yeah. You know what I mean? When a team's third in ERA, third in whip, and their pitching's been phenomenal like that, but you have these names that haven't gotten it done throughout an entire season, and their bats aren't up there in the top half of the league in run production. I think that team tends to taper off. Where on the flip side, a team like St. Louis, who's been doing it with offense, and their pitching hasn't come around yet, but you know they've got quality guys in there. You
they
know
haven't had their ace all year.
Exactly. I think that's a team that will be able to win the division as opposed to Cincy.
Well, I've said it on, I do Chris Townsend radio show 3 nights a week, and I've said on there numerous times, I still think St. Louis is the team.
That could be wishful thinking on my part too, because I have a future on St. Louis, but you know.
They're, as much as, Pittsburgh's playing well and everything, because of the experience
the proven
factor,
entity, yeah.
This is a team, we're talking about a team that hasn't, won in 19 years or 20 years, the Pittsburgh Pirates. And for them to be in first place, what's going to happen come when we get to the dog days of August and then we get to this September pennant race? Will they be able to withstand the pressure? I think they have the talent, but do they have the experience to hold off a team like St. Louis where...
to know how to play at the end of the season. When you've never had to play at the end of a season where games really matter, it's tough to do. And like you were just going to say, and I know it cut you off, no one knows how to win at the end of the season more than St. Louis, because
after last
casinos paid this team at 100 to 1, 150 to 1 because they were out of it, weeks.
11 and a half games out. And this team went on a run that took them all the way to the World Series. So, they played an entire month of September where every single game mattered for them right up to the last day of the season. They didn't get into the playoffs till the last day of the season. So, yeah, St. Louis has the experience. And when you think they've done it with the pitching staff that they've done, now one of the surprises is Lance Lynn. He's pitching here. And he's pitched very well with this team this year. But you've heard me say over and over again, young pitchers have the advantage over the hitters the first time through the league.
Sure.
And I've made baskets of money with that theory. I also have made a ton of money finding the time then to go against them, because as they start facing these teams for the second and third times, you separate if a guy's the real deal or was it just they didn't know him yet.
His stuff,
And Lance Lynn right now has been the poster child to my theory. Listen to these stats. In the month of April, his ERA was 1.33. In the month of May, 3.44. In June, he jumped to 5.67.
And now he's up to 103 innings pitched.
So coming out of the All-Star break, he had a little bit of rest. If he was having a little bit of a tired arm, maybe, those extra few days, he might have a little more zip on his, fastball and stuff. But I think in the second half of the season, there's going to be some great spots to fade him or to get value with over-unders, because as you said, this St. Louis team can score runs.
Yeah.
And when they score, and a lot of people thought they were going to have a big drop-off because they lost Pujols.
Yeah,
but
and
they
Berkman's
really have
been hurt for 46 games.
The team still is finding a way to score runs. Cincinnati, you alluded to them, they're spotty. The difference with them, and I think it's why some of their ratings are off, is that they either don't score any runs at all, and they had a couple.
Or they put a 12-run game. Because when you look at Votto, Phillips, Bruce, Ludwig, these are guys that could swing the bat. I'm surprised that they're 17th in Major League Baseball in runs scored.
Absolutely, I agree with you. Lynn did throw a good game in his last outing. After 3 horrible starts in a row, he threw a gem, 6 shutout innings his last start, but it was against Colorado.
Yeah.
Colorado's in total disarray right now. You got
you got pitchers going on 3 days rest every time out and stuff.
So I can't really put a lot of stock in that. I'm going to go with Cincinnati here with Leake. Leake's in a groove right now. 4 straight starts, he's given up 2 runs or less. 9 of his last 10, he's given up 3 runs or less. If your pitcher can go out and get you 7 innings, 6, 7 innings, and you know that he's only going to give up 2 or 3 runs, you're in the ball game.
Oh, sure.
And that's all I can ask for. I like the fact that this is the Saturday game, not Friday, because, Cincinnati, they came back from that West Coast trip, see the family, had the All-Star break. Now you got that first, they had the Friday game under, get back in the routine. I like them here on Saturday. I'm going to go ahead and take
What line you think it'll be?
I'm thinking this line's, I'm going to take it up to 140, and I think I'm high.
You're going to get a little better,
I think it'll be a little better. I think St. Louis will get a little bit of respect with Lynn. And as long as we're not laying more than 140, I think there's value in taking the Reds. That's going to be my play here. It's not my best bet. That's going to come up next. We're going to take a look at a game on Sunday, and we're going to talk about probably the luckiest athlete in all of major sports. That's coming up next. We're going to do Detroit at Baltimore on Sunday.